Right, and welcome back to part two of social media guidelines. This is our lecture that we're going to be talking about kind of like the do's and don'ts of social media in regards to reporting. So, the pros of social media platform lists. Let's talk a little bit of how you organize what you see every day, what you check every day. So, Twitter, you want to make sure that you stay updated on your beat. You want to kind of creating platform lists, so forth, helps you stay updated on the breaking news and follow other users that are in your professional network. Lists on Twitter help to organize information from many users and can be kept private or public, allowing someone to track users discreetly without directly following them or even share feeds of entire groups of people within Twitter. Okay, so you can kind of see what you want to see every day. You can follow people, you can unfollow people. It just kind of depends what you want to be viewing every day. I highly suggest that if you are a local reporter, that you are following all police, fire, as well as government, any local universities, as well as school districts. You want to be following all the government, all of the sports, the local sport teams, as well as any local movements or organizations that are kind of hot right now in the news. That's just doesn't it doesn't matter what beat you are covering, that those are just kind of necessary. And then as you get further into your beat coverage, you want to find specialized kind of professionals that you want to listen to and you want to be following what they're doing, as well as all the local papers. It's important that not only you support local journalism and national journalism, but that you're also following them and kind of aware of their style and what they are covering and what they're reporting on. Okay, let's talk about what AP says. They specifically note that for reporters, private lists are an easy way to see tweets by newsmakers, regardless of whether you actually follow them. You may want to start organizing a private list by adding sources you already know. For a legislative reporter, that could include lawmakers and their staffs, party officials, legislative research staffers, the top elected officials and key staffers, lobbyists, other reporters and bloggers. For a crime reporter, prosecuting and defense attorneys, so you would have to network and figure out who you want to follow on that, as well as court staff like clerks, bailiffs, court admin, other reporters, or incarcerated criminals, even. If you are sharing a list with colleagues, you should come back to it regularly to ensure that it's always up to date. Browsing through lists also creates a smart way to find people who might be relevant to you. Twitter's help section is also a great resource of managing your account, finding and following people, and creating lists. Facebook. So Facebook also has they have the ability to set up a friend list. They have discontinued their interest list feature for organizing pages you follow, but you can still keep your personal and work contacts separate by creating friend lists. So if you create friend lists, you can kind of keep updated on that. I'd say Twitter is probably your best bet though for that. Again, TweetDeck is one option, and they offer a more convenient Twitter experience by letting you view multiple timelines in one easy interface. So this is kind of how they wrote it up. It includes a host of advanced features to help get the most of Twitter. So you can manage multiple Twitter accounts, schedule tweets for posting in the future, and build tweet collections and more. So you can kind of schedule and set up your tweets. Now, this would be highly, highly helpful for a reporter who is just kind of coming out into the field and they want to set a personality of some sort of how to kind of what you can expect. So if you're a crime reporter, then you're going to start off and you're going to be giving off maybe 3 tweets a day in regards to whatever story you're covering, specifically if it's kind of a fast-moving case you're covering. Okay, so people can start expecting to hear from you. We also have Hootsuite. Now, Hootsuite is super helpful for actually the PR world as well as reporters. But for a PR social media manager, for instance, you can connect all of your social media accounts. So it's not just Twitter. You can connect all of them. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you can post the same thing on all of them at the same time, and you can schedule and pre-plan your post. So this is incredibly helpful if you're managing like the face of a company or whatever you're doing in the PR world. And you can also use it for your publication. So as a reporter, you can do the same thing if you are setting up an image and a branding and a style of reporting that you want to capitalize on. Okay, so Hootsuite, it's officially is known as a social media management platform that covers almost every aspect of social media manager's role. With just one platform, users are able to do the simple stuff like curate cool content and schedule posts, all the way up to managing team members and measuring your REI. So that's very important. How to use social media for research. So there's three main points here. Refining keyword research, seeking generated content from the actual original source, and then of course source contacting. So breaking news is always shared on social media outlets. In fact, all forms of news are usually simultaneously posted on social media with their publication. So according to AP, a quick, smart reaction to breaking news can be key to finding people or securing exclusive photos and video. It can also help save time and resources. So it's also the top way of securing correspondence in this tech-savvy world. Okay, so you need it for your stories, you need it for your sources, you need it for your research. It's incredibly important right now. Strong results can happen when search terms are actually taken into account when you're searching. Okay, so if you're seeking user-generated content from passengers, for instance, as AP gives us an example, trapped on a cruise ship, which just recently happened, try to think of what tourists and their friends and their families might say. You might want to try different combinations of words like carnival, splendor, cruise, stuck, vacation, port, aboard, sick, miserable. Consider that someone might be inclined to utter or what they might say when they're trapped in an uncomfortable situation. So you have to take your version of what's happening and put yourself in the person's shoes and try to kind of search on that route. Facebook allows for keyword search at the top of the page and with refined options for results with either people, pages, or posts. Source contacting. So when you find your source, you need to contact them privately, identifying yourself and your reason for contacting them. Make sure to include your position with a publication or your years in service if you're a freelance writer. And then you would also like to link your professional website that will include the clippings or publications you've already written for and have published work on. So that's what they're going to want to see. When you contact them, they want to know that you're actually a reputable writer or journalist, that you've been doing this, you are professional, you have grammar checked your email, or however you're contacting them, and you come across incredibly just together. You've researched this topic, you are not asking them questions that's easy to find on your own. We go over source contacting in depth in our MO3 class again. Okay, so make note with Facebook, messages sent to non-friends and strangers, they'll be sent as message request, and some sources may not have this downloaded as it's a separate app. So if you're reaching out through Facebook, definitely at least implore about 2 or 3 other ways to contact them, because some people don't use the Facebook message app. Okay. Other media outlets can follow your tweets for tips and clues on what you're pursuing. So if you're using tweets and you're doing it through Twitter, then they can follow, they can see what you're doing and what you're writing about and who you're kind of researching. So make sure that you are aware of everything that you're doing is probably public. Okay, also, you need to make sure that you find people through social media like the same way that you would find someone through regular detective like kind of mentality. So when you have nothing more than a notepad and a pen, that's what you want to kind of picture yourself doing when you're out researching and trying to find your source. Okay, if your selected social media platform offers an advanced search option, you definitely want to put that to use. Twitter Advanced Searches lets you try different combinations of keywords to find what you're looking for, and search results can then be sorted to show the most recent first or filtered to limit the tweets or photos or videos.